Welcome to Pit Pass Live, presented by Honda. I'm IndyStar Motorsports insider Jim Ayello, standing here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway after the first day of Indianapolis 500 practice. And boy, I can tell you, I'm very happy that we have the sun shining. It had been a rainy weekend. I was worried about practice, but no, we fit it all in. All 36 cars hit the track today. None were faster than Team Penske's Will Power, who turned the fastest lap of the day at 2:29.745. The fastest no-toe speed, however, belonged to Ed Carpenter Racing's Ed Jones, who was just over 224 miles per hour. Not that many guys hit 224 miles an hour, so it was a good speed for them. However, the biggest news of the day is that McLaren Racing, which is investigating its future in IndyCar racing, has reportedly been talking to teams about buying them outright. Among those teams is Arrow Schmidt Peterson Motorsports. And as we all know, Arrow has recently partnered with McLaren in Formula One. Arrow is on Fernando Alonso's car for McLaren for the Indianapolis 500. So there's quite a bit of smoke coming from this rumor. However, Sam Schmidt says that the team is not for sale. He's not looking to sell. He did help broker the deal with Arrow and McLaren for Formula One, but that's as far as the deal goes. So we'll keep an eye on it. McLaren has talked a lot about joining IndyCar. This is one way they could possibly do it. We'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the month and maybe the rest of the year. For now, after the break, we're going to hear from Will Power, Kyle Kaiser, and Colton Herta.
Obviously the speed was a big toe, but definitely a different car. With that tyre that Firestone bought, we've had to make quite a few adjustments to what we ran last year. I mean, I started with what I raced last year, and it definitely was not in the window, so made a lot of adjustments at the end. Obviously keep working on that tomorrow, and see how we progress. I would say that we weren't very good in traffic on the first day, but by the end felt way more comfortable.
Today we were more towards trying to figure out the race car, and that's how I want to kind of go, because if we could, I think we have a good qualifying car already. We're kind of fast on our own. I was really struggling in traffic though, and that's when it's going to count in the race. And then I think we have a good enough car to make the show, and then to compete in the race is another thing. So just focusing on the race car mostly, and getting some qualifying runs in the morning, and then rest of the morning, all afternoon, trying to work on the race car.
For my mindset, it doesn't change no matter what's on the car. If there's nothing on the car, if the car's covered in sponsors, which obviously is what we love. But for now, I go out there and I drive the car as best I can and put the car at the front every chance we can. And hopefully, if we perform the way we're supposed to perform, then we'll have people coming in to get on the side of the car.
Coming up after the break, take a trip down memory lane with me and Mario Andretti as we walk the grounds of the now defunct Nazareth Speedway.
This is the defunct Nazareth Speedway, the mile track which was built right after the half mile, which was at the fairground just below us. When that became defunct, a developer from Reading came up here, and of course he built this mile, and was technically a mile and an eighth. And it started out as a dirt track, which was extremely popular at the time. And then, of course, it turned in, when Roger Penske just became the owner, he decided to really revamp this and pave it, and just to realign the walls and all that. What's really, for me, when I look back, the memory that I have here is then in '69, after I won Indianapolis, the first race, well, it was a couple of races after Indy, but the first time that we came back to our town here, they had this championship race here. It was a night race. It was the first time actually that I think the dirt cars ran at night, and my wife was pregnant with my daughter Barbie, but she wasn't due for 2 weeks. But all of these developments, the parade and then the race and everything happening, I think it brought about the birth of Barbie right after the race, and I won the race here. So the beautiful thing is I won here. I won on the half miles, and my son Michael won a couple times. Afterwards we paved. So we have such fond memories of this place. It's quite sad now, obviously, looking at how dilapidated this property is, and again, it's there's always a reason for things like this happening. The community just did not support it after a while. It was because of the political, turmoil in Indy cars and so forth, and this is one of the venues that actually suffered tremendously, and again now it's looks like it's not going to have a life anymore. Oh, the memories are vivid, and again, fond is probably one way to describe it. But such positive memories here, no question. It all began right here in Nazareth, and my career started right here in 1959, and it was never interrupted.
There we go.
Right through 1994 when I stepped out of Indy cars, and then I still drove 3 times at Le Mans, and we won class in 1995. My last actually competitive race was in the year 2000. So 59 to 2000, I was just really blessed about that. Still not retired, no. Still dabbling with it, and my career now is a little bit in the 2-seater for a while, but I'm enjoying that tremendously. And of course we have skin in the game, with the kids, Michael with the team, and Marco as a driver. Even on my brother's side and Aldo's side, we had a couple of drivers there, and with Jared coming on. So the family tradition continues.
Welcome back to Pit Pass Live, presented by Honda. That's it for us today at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. However, we will be back tomorrow with more Indianapolis 500 practice and, of course, more Indianapolis 500 coverage. Thanks for joining us.